the return of the king, the signal stock, Cat A, an EV of this size, a Tesla of this size, new looks, new tech on the inside. Is the Tesla Model Y will buy, won't buy, or go try? If you ask me, I think that this car is very easily This is the new Tesla Model Y, and in 2024, it was the best-selling car in the world. Now, it's been facelifted, it's been given a few new tricks. Does it have what it takes to still be the best-selling car? Let's find out. Now, if you're thinking about trading in your car to buy a car like this new Tesla Model Y, try selling it with quotes instead.
Quotes helps you sell your car quickly and easily. With the new Quotes doorstep, get a professional inspection by our certified mechanics at your convenience, anywhere on the island. Quotes will then auction out your car online to its wide network of dealers to bid on your car. Once bidding is complete, Quotes will update you with their best offer price at no obligation. It's that easy.
To find out more, visit quotes.com.sg, that's QUOTZ.com.sg. Now let's find out more about this car. Now, this immediately looks different. This time you can see the daytime running light running through the center beam with these very sharp lights. I think this looks so much better. The previous Model Y looked really more of a stretched out Model 3, and I think this suits the aesthetics of this SUV a lot better. It doesn't look as round and too friendly. This time it looks sharper, fiercer. Although this time, this is the Category A 110 kilowatt rear wheel drive Model Y. So it is a little bit more friendly in terms of power, but the looks just look so much better. You're gonna get your headlamp cluster right down here. These curves or these lines, I think, look a lot better. Other than aesthetics, you're also gonna find functional changes with a new diffuser, as well as your 8th camera around the car inside the bumper. Underneath is a very big frunk, one of the biggest, and if you are an owner with the app, you can actually open up the frunk just like this. A very sizable amount of space, lots of things can be kept inside there if you need. Now let's move on to the side. Now over by the side, you're gonna find 19-inch aero wheels. These aero covers can be taken off. And of course, being a Tesla, you can customize the wheels upon order. This car is 4.8 meters by 2 meters wide and 1.6 meters tall. Wheelbase just shy of 2.9 meters, but still going to offer a very comfortable ride for the driver as well as the passengers in the rear. Now, if you move down over to the rear, this charging port is going to be found on the left side with access to 170 kilowatt DC fast charging and of course Tesla supercharging access. Now, to where the real good stuff is in the rear. Now, over by the rear, to me, this is where it gets really, really beautiful. You're gonna get an entirely new redesigned rear. Check out the lights here, but this underglow effect from the brake lights. I think this is one of the best rears I've seen. Like, nowadays, everybody's doing a rear light bar, right? But this beautiful glow, and then you see the Tesla etching right here, glowing. This is beautiful. And it doesn't just end here, it stretches onto the road as well. So the glow is also reflected on the road. It's almost like an LED underglow, and just look at it. I think that is extremely beautiful, and you still get concepts of Tesla design running through these lights right here, your charger right here. This is really well done. Tesla really ups. So of course here, this time metal is gonna be segmented. This is gonna be metal, this is gonna be metal, but this is thermoplastic. So Tesla says if you're in the habit of getting this damage, this can be replaced easily without replacing the entire segment. Now, if you open up the motorized tailgate, of course, you're gonna be met with an immense amount of space. Right now, we have this parcel shelf cover, and check it out. Unlike every other single car with a parcel shelf, this isn't held on with etchings inside the rear. This is a magnetic parcel shelf, so you don't need any other side etchings other than this very, very subtle line right here. And I think that is another part of this beautiful design. This time for the Model Y, compared to the previous one, you're gonna get electrically operated rear seats. So you can knock them down just like that, which is very easy. Perfect to extend your boot space to over 2,000 liters for plenty of hauling capability. It passes the anti-trolley and the luggage test by a long shot. So you get plenty of space and even more storage space when you want to hide things down below inside this boot. Now, onto the rear. Now over in the rear of the Tesla Model Y, I'm 1.75 meters tall. You can see this amount of headspace. this amount of leg space at my comfortable driving position. Of course, this 2.9 meter wheelbase really does help out a lot. What's different from this Model Y compared to the previous one, you're going to get this ambient lighting strip running through. Like the Model 3, very nice. You're also going to get the rear screen like in the Model 3, access to aircon, seat, and because these are electronically reclined and knock down seats, you can make them recline more or even fall forward a little bit if you need that small amount of boot space. Other than that, this is pretty much going to be the same area. The place is very nice. This screen really does help out a lot. If you are cold, these two seats can be heated, but most of the time in Singapore you won't really need that. You're going to get hooks up here hidden into the frame, so they are very nicely designed. Other than that, if there's nobody in the middle, you can pull out this cup holders, have a rest, as well as two cup holders to put your drinks or your phone in to get a little bit more relaxed. But if you need to squeeze 5 people in the rear, it's not going to be a problem at all because of this gigantic amount of space and that flat floor. It really is a place for you to sprawl out and no problems at all, even for these gigantic feet of mine. Now, let's check out the front. Now, over in the cockpit of the Tesla Model Y, the first and I think the most noticeable thing is the return of the signal stalk. So your signals, unlike the new Model 3, are not going to be on the steering wheel. They have returned to a stalk, but it's interesting to note your high beam will still be on the button, so it's going to be very easy to press, but also the movement of the stick is rather shallow, so you don't get that half press and full press. In fact, every press, no matter how I try, it's all a full press, so you don't get that half press for 3 flickers. The rest of the steering wheel is going to be the same, your ambient lighting stretching throughout the cabin, as well as this nicer material layout. One of the very cool, interesting things is this time aircon, because a lot of people have gripes about how the aircon is controlled through the screen, which personally I'm also not that big a fan of, but one of the saving graces this time is having a swing mode, so the fan is automatically distributed throughout the cabin and on an even basis. You're also going to get, just like the new Model 3, ventilated seats in front, so it's going to be extra comfortable underneath this roof. Your gear shift is also going to be this time on the screen, just like the new Model 3. If not, you have a backup gear shift that is right here, which some people may not know about. The rest of the car is always going to be updated over the air, so if you want to take a look, you can always go over to your software and then you can tap on the release notes to see all the updates that have been added to this car over the air. So things like setting arrival energy, which this time, let's say you want to drive to Penang and you want to have a certain amount of charge inside your car by the time you get to Penang, you can set that up when you're using the inbuilt Tesla navigation app. So it tells you which chargers to go to and for how long for you to arrive at your destination with a certain amount of charge. So all these small little things trickling into the car through the over-the-air updates ensure that your car is always kind of like always a new car, so you're always getting the latest updates. Another thing is saving trunk height based on location. So let's say at home you're inside a multi-story car park and you don't want to open the trunk height too high, you can set that to be saved within your car. Now if you move down the center right here, you're going to get your dual wireless chargers, a very deep cubby space, 2 cup holders right here, and a further hiding space down here, as well as a USB-C fast charging port inside your cubby space. If you want to access the glove box, you're going to have to do it through the screen, which is pretty typical. So for all the differences right here, most of it is going to be inside the screen, so a lot of controls like your driving dynamics, which I will touch on a little bit later as well. All of it is mostly accessed through the screen right here. Now, does this car drive as well as it looks? Only one way to find out.
The Tesla Model Y is priced at $205,000. The single electric motor produces 148 brake horsepower and 350 Nm of torque. The single-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 9.6 seconds. The 62.5 kWh battery has a drive range of 466 km. The car has a claimed energy consumption of 6.5 km per kWh. For more details on the Tesla Model Y or any other car, head on to Sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car.
So, driving the Tesla Model Y, what does it feel like? Well, it feels like enough power. This is the 110 kilowatt Cat A rear-wheel drive model, so certain things have gone away, but in return you get a lot more things. For instance, there's no access to all your different levels of drive. Currently, if you go into dynamics, you're only going to get not much. You are going to be able to select your steering wheel feel, you're going to be able to Select. This one I appreciate. You get one additional regenerative braking setting versus the Cat A Model 3, which didn't have, and I'm not sure if the OTA will have ported over to the Model 3, but this time for your regenerative braking you get reduced as well as standard. I kind of like reduced a lot more. It feels a lot more natural to what an ICE car feels. When you step off the accelerator, when you go into standard, it kind of gets into that kind of jerky kind of feeling, which I think a lot of people associate with how an EV feels, or that's where the jerkiness that they associate it with come from. But I feel it's a matter of changing your perception, your perspective about driving an EV. You can't just be letting off the accelerator. But anyway, more options are always better. And one of the things that I really liked about the original pre-facelift Tesla Model 3 was its customizability. So things like how crazy you want your drive mode to be, as well as how much regenerative braking you want the car to always have on passively. And one of my favorite things back then was really the ability to choose whether you want it to creep, whether you want it to roll, whether you want it to come to a stop. But unfortunately, all of that is in the past. But my point is that this time for the new Model Y, they did bring back a little bit of that customizability. So I appreciate that inside this Model Y. Other than that, the new looks, of course, it looks fantastic. In the front, light bar, robo-taxi light, Cybertruck light, I think it looks good. In the rear, it's just chef's kiss. Oh my god, that rear tail light. It's not really a tail light, it's more of a reflective cover, and it just looks so cool. It's not going to be glaring, but gives that beautiful glow, and it actually extends onto the road at night, so it's almost like the most legal way you could have an LED underglow. So for all of those One Gun fanboys, this looks fantastic. Inside the rest of the car, one of the elephants in the room, is it an elephant if it's a good thing? The return of the king, the signal stalk. This is one thing that, while trivial, I think it signals a very good adjustment. It's saying that Tesla is listening to you. So what the customers want, Tesla at first, of course they're gonna have their stance, right? Why they removed it in the first place. So they're gonna have to say, no, I think, this may save us some money. This is a better way to go. Just like a lot of design options when initially going against the crowd, they're gonna face a lot of friction. But then they say, hey, over time, actually people use it and they found it to be better. But Tesla is listening and they say that we took away the signal stalk. We found that people didn't really like it, and over time, we decided to bring it back. So if you want a newish, the latest Tesla, and you want a signal stalk, it has to be the Model Y, because the Model 3 still doesn't have it. You're still gonna have to press on your steering wheel to get that signal. The rest of the interior is also updated to be same as the new Model 3, and also new aerodynamics, drag coefficient of just 0.22. That's crazy for this SUV. You're gonna get new interior ambient lighting, the screen in the back, screen in the front, ventilated seats, very, very nice. All of these come with the new Model Y, and it was the best selling car of 2024. Not the best selling car in America, not the best selling car in China, not the best selling EV SUV, not the best selling EV. It's the best selling car, period. And that tells you a lot. So this time, when it's been updated, they're telling people that, hey, we hear you, we hear what you want, we're gonna work towards that. It's still not everything that I would like. Let's say a perfect EV, I would say electric sunshade, because especially in Singapore City, ventilated seats to come here is very, very good. I would like a little heads-up display or a little tiny display up front so that I don't have to look to see my speed. It's not perfect, but it's getting closer. It's making a step in the right direction. In terms of noise, we're currently going at about 90. On the highway, you don't hear a thing because of that double glazed glass all along these frameless windows, as well as the top. I do remember the first generation Model 3 kind of felt a little bit heat coming in, and that goes on to why I would like an electric sunshade. But Tesla also says that they've improved the coating to be more reflective, to reflect a lot more of that heat, which is very, very welcome inside Singapore's weather. In terms of handling, I think the car is comfortable. It soaks up bumps well, but it's also not the softest, so it does give you a little bit more confidence to turn the car sideways a little bit, rear-wheel drive. But after all, it is a Cat A, so it's not the harshest. It's a very, very comfortable everyday car. It is a car that's going to be very, very comfortable, whether you're fetching family around or whether you're going on a grocery runs. It is front double wishbone setup, as well as a rear multi-link, so it really is a very comfortable place to be inside. Now, in terms of drive, this is the 110 kilowatt, which is very, very welcome in Singapore. You're going to get lower road tax. You're going to make the car itself a little bit more affordable. A car, SUV, EV of this size, a Tesla of this size, at $200,000 with a reduced road tax. And 110 is going to be plenty. It's enough to get you anywhere. You're not going to find somewhere that you can't drive to within Singapore. And in fact, it even makes your range longer because it is a more comfortable distribution of power. So if you do want the kind of regular Model Y, then of course there are the normal options, and of course they have been stepped up a little bit from the previous Model Y, so they are faster, they are going to be more fun. But in terms of this category A, I especially like it because, kind of just like the Signal stock, it's telling you that they listen. Singapore is not a big market, but Tesla came in, Tesla opened 2 stores. I heard they're going to open a 3rd one sometime. And then they're saying that, hey, you are important to us, so we want to listen to you. Even though this car sold very well last year, if you look at registrations by Tesla, they had a field year. This time they're going to bring this in, they're going to update it, they're going to add the Signal stock. And then they say, hey, you guys really love your Cat A's, right? We're going to give you a Cat A model. This tells you that they listen. I mean, currently, and especially because they are Cat A, an EV of this size, a Tesla of this size, new looks, new tech on the inside, 200,000, this is finding a very, very comfortable niche. And don't be too comfortable, because for now, if you want a Cat A EV of this size, this is a great option. But rest assured, the Chinese are coming. All of the EVs that are made globally typically don't fall into Cat A category. So a lot of the times they say, take my Cat B first, while in the meantime we're trying to engineer and push out this new developed Cat A model. Once it comes out, we're going to attack the Singapore market. So for now, this is a very comfortable niche to be in. Tesla Model Y Cat A 110 kilowatt. Enjoy it, but don't rest on your laurels. So in terms of safety, I feel like the Tesla is one of the best systems out there. You're going to get a very functional, very high refresh, very accurate reading of the road. Motorcycles, trucks, vans, cars, pedestrians. So this really tells you that it's going to be, the car knows what's going on. And it's giving you that confidence that the curve of the road, the car sees it. The lanes of the road, the car sees it. So I really like the Tesla system. And of course, famously, if all over the internet, you're going to find Teslas that have auto-driven to sidestep accidents, predicted accidents ahead, and then prevented those accidents from happening to the Tesla. So honestly, lane keeping, blind spot monitor, all of that, the cameras all around. Tesla has one of the best safety systems. And when you buy a Tesla, you're going to get all that. So, is the Tesla Model Y will buy, won't buy, or go try? If you ask me, I think that this car is very easily a will buy. Currently, 200,000 on the market, an EV of this size, a Tesla, no less, with new looks, improved design, improved things all around, inside, outside, ventilated seats, ambient light, second screen in the rear, electric operated seats for the rear, knockdown and backup, over-the-air updates, plenty and plenty for 200,000. Personally, I feel it's a will buy. I think the numbers speak for themselves. Improved looks, improved interior, Cat A pricing, this is going to be a will buy. There is one little issue I kind of want to have to bring up, because currently, while it is at Cat A pricing, in terms of competitors, you're going to get some very competitive competitors. And I kind of feel like over the past few years, this is such a recurring theme. Price-wise, you're going to be looking at BYD Sealion 7, and it's also some around $200,000. But it is going to be Cat B, you're going to be getting Cat B power, and it will feel like a lot more car than a Tesla. It's going to feel like a regular car. And that's what a lot of people like about the BYD Sealion 7. A lot more so than the BYD Atto 3, which when it first came out, people were griping that certain things, while I personally like the design and how it wasn't like a regular mass market introduction model kind of interior, it's black plastic, it felt unique. But one thing people didn't like was that it's too unique, so it didn't really feel like a car. With the Sealion 7, it went kind of back more to a regular car, and even more so, a more upmarket feeling car. So if you want something like that, then there's the BYD Sealion 7 for a very competitive price, for Cat B power as well as Cat B price. very similarly 200,000. If I think you're looking at price competition, another currently very tempting offers, another Cat B large SUV would be the Skyworth K, but I think the Tesla Model Y, in terms of finishing, in terms of drive, in terms of the features that you find on the inside, the software and the hardware, the Tesla Model Y beats it by a long shot, but of course the Skyworth K. If you're looking at dollar to dollar only and not about anything else, Skyworth K is competitive. If you're looking at Cat A models, dollar to dollar, though it is kind of a different segment, the Ion V also puts up a very tempting offer for interior and exterior, the tech that they put inside, and the price that you're getting, the Ion V is a very attractive offer. If you're still looking at only a segment of this size and you're looking at prices, let's say you have a few tens of thousands of dollars to spare, and you want to look at something that's comparable in quality, comparable in size, comparable in features, then I would say you can look at the XPENG G6, which is very sizable. It's got a very good range. And then you also have models like the High-Tech HT, which to me feels like a little bit more stepped up, but the price is also a little bit more stepped up. Even the base model to this Cat A, and they're all Cat Bs, of course, they have yet to come up with the Cat A options. So the XPENG G6 as well as the High-Tech HT, if you've got money to spend and you want a Cat B option, those are very tempting offers, but it's going to be quite a league above in terms of price. You're looking at some at least $20,000 to $30,000 of price difference. So that's it for our Tesla Model Y review. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know down in the comments below, as well as any other car that you'd like to see us try out. Do leave it in the comments and I'll read every single one of these. Now, if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads. And lastly, do follow us on TikTok. We are at Sgcarmart. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.